All right, all right. How goes it, Tell?
I'm good. How are you?
Mhm. I'm doing well. All right, so we are testing quite a bit of things that we weren't testing before. I have a new mic. Uh, can you see this?
Yep.
And it picks up everything. Not only does it pick up my voice, but it may be doing something to our audio. So we'll see what happens on the playback. But in the meantime, we are your Gen X gentlemen, and we are here to bring you the knowledge. So, how goes it with you today, still?
I can't complain too much. I was just happy to get back in pocket and get to recording with you again.
Yes, sir.
Now that we're
Man.
trying some new things.
hmm Yes, man. Been a little bit since we've recorded. I'm since on the mend from catching the Rona,
Wow.
uh, COVID. I was down for almost 2 weeks,
Mm,
so I'm very thankful to God that I, got through it, and now,
yes.
you know, so thanks for everyone's thoughts and prayers, and just checking in on me, checking me and my family. That is, and so now that that's done, we're back on the good foot. Well, I'm back on the good foot. All right, so tell this is going to be a recording. We're going to take a look at a particular instance that happened just recently. Um, you want to set it up so that we can actually get a chance to talk to her?
Yeah. Basically, we're going through women in sports. Do they deserve the pay?
Yes, sir. Do they deserve to pay? What we talking about? I mean, the fact that they, as in women, do they deserve to pay? This particular story that we found, or that has been in the news, is about the women's soccer team. And just so happens that they won a lawsuit, $24 million. And this was pretty big. Um, you want to
Yes,
give a
sir.
little you want to give a little background on this town?
Well, my understanding is for a few years now, the women feel that they've been grossly underpaid as opposed to the U.S. women's soccer team, as opposed to the U.S. men's soccer team. They feel, and I emphasize I use that word because that's a word that's very near and dear to a lot of the females. Is they feel like everything is their feelings.
Mhm.
So without using logic, they're they opted in their contracts to go for guaranteed pay, which is significantly less than what the men get. However, with that being said, it is more of a cost factor involved where they don't generate the revenue that the men generate, and that being when the men have more eyeballs, put more butts in the seats, that creates much more revenue for the league and the franchise. The women, however, don't look at it that way because of their feelings. They want equal pay because they've won, I guess it's the highest, the trophy honor. They came in number one in, is it in the nation? I guess, well, actually in the world, if it's the US women's. Um, the men, even though they have much stiffer competition, didn't even qualify to make it to the finals. So for this, the women feel that they deserve equal pay to the men. The men do make an astronomical amount more, but there's a lot of variables behind that show us.
So then, at first this thing didn't work because they lost the first suit. It was the contract that they signed, if I'm not mistaken. They'd signed a contract that was not incentive based, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of doing that, even though they had all these accolades, like they got, they won gold medals and they won championships, because it wasn't incentive based and it was a set amount, they did not get the bonuses that they could have gotten if they had signed an incentive based contract.
Not guaranteed money.
Right. The not guaranteed money. They went with the guaranteed, and lo and behold, they were paid less. So they then sued to tear up the contract that they signed, that they asked for. Right. And so,
Right.
as a result of doing that, they then wanted the back pay from the time that they signed that contract. The contract that they asked for.
Yeah. Well, all the man haters and misandrists are in agreement with that. And now, as the headline shows here on the screen, the women's soccer, they just got a big win in this ongoing gender war for equal pay. And this all started several years ago with Billie Jean King and I said, what is the name? Bobby Riggs? Yeah.
Yep, It sure did. Back in 1973.
73.
Some of you guys weren't born at that time. We were young tykes.
Yep.
But I remember this particular tournament. These two decided that they were going to play tennis against each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, they got all the networks. This was so big. And we're going to date ourselves. All 3 networks. it was so big. All 3 networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, aired this at the same time. They all wanted this coverage. Okay. Back in this day, there was no ESPN, there was no Fox Sports, there was none of that. We had 3 channels.
Wow.
Do you remember this though? Back in the day when we had 3 channels.
I do. And that was a big whoop-de-doo deal, believe it or not.
I mean, Fox wasn't around yet. That became the 4th years later.
Yes.
There was only 3: ABC, NBC, and CBS, right? And then you had your local local news channels, and that was it.
Right? And PBS.
Okay, PBS. Yes, PBS came about. So this is us as in our Gen X generation. All we had was 3 channels. This was broadcast on every channel. It was so popular, and it made a lot of money for all 3 channels because everybody wanted to see if Billie Jean King could beat Bobby Riggs. Now, for people who don't realize, there was an age difference. Billie Jean King was basically at the height of her career as a women's tennis player. Bobby Riggs was not a professional, or there was a age difference of about, I think, 15 years or so. And so here's this older man who's not a professional tennis player playing a professional tennis player. Okay, so they had this big old event, and she won. She actually beat him.
Mm.
You know, it again, the ratings went through the roof, and everybody and their brother was like, here's lies the beginnings of where uh, the equality issue was birthed in sports, right?
Right.
So this happened, and then you never heard of any of this again for years. Okay, so fast forward to today, and now you have this lawsuit with the soccer team.
Mm.
The lawsuit was brought about, and now they won $24 million, which is back pay, as well as monies that they had that should have been they feel as though should have been um, given to them, right?
Yeah. So the lawsuit was the gender discrimination suing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, it seems like the only equal pay right now in any sport is men's and women's tennis. So
There
score
you go.
one for Billie Jean King.
Yeah, they put something in line for it to happen, and then years later, it's the only sport that you do have equal pay.
But rightfully so. Um, I would say there's been a growing interest in women's tennis in probably the last 20, 25 years, but even more what motivated is the Williams sisters in the last 15 years or so. They really were big draws. Um, Top celebrities were coming out to all the majors that they participated in, especially the U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Wimbledon, the U.S. Open was probably the biggest draw for all the celebrities, and it was Venus and Serena, which a lot of them wanted to see. Yes, all the girls were, well, most of them were, sexy, and a lot of the Russians and the Slavic countries. You even had a small moment with the young Anna Kournikova, who's married to Enrique Iglesias. She was the hot thing for a while. She had some big endorsement deals and never won a major. She hardly
Mm-hmm.
even won any tournaments, period, major or not. But because she had that sex appeal and that sex factor, um, let's keep it real. Women are sexual objects, and we love to see them in their beauty and sexiness. And some of them hate to hear that. They want to. I don't know, for whatever reason. That's femininity to me, being beautiful and sexy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, not being vulgar, and they rather be masculine and combative and domineering for whatever reason. Maybe Billie Jean motivated a little bit that, who knows, being that she's masculine herself. Even Martina Navratilova is from that alphabet community, and she won a lot of championships as well. But there's a very feminine young woman who probably has the second most titles to Serena, and that was uh, Agassi's wife, Steffi Graf.
Mm.
So, yay for femininity, where at least she showed you could be feminine and beat the best of them without being butch. Um,
Well,
I think the other sports, as we look at, well, let's talk at WNBA and the NBA. When
mm-hmm.
you look at, this is very much a masculine sport. It's not like tennis where tennis is so versatile. It could be finesse and feminine, finesse and masculine. It could be um, tough and feminine, or tough and masculine. it has duality when it comes to that gender balance. You don't get the same result with any other sport, in my opinion. Maybe one or two other global sports, like
Right.
badminton or something, or equestrian, horse riding, or I can't think of anything else right now. But for the most part, all the other sports are very masculine. Basketball, not a feminine thing going on with that. Yeah,
Mhm.
probably they want to be paid equally. Since the inception of the WNBA, it has been running on a loss. Revenue's been low, but the women don't want to hear it. They want more pay. They feel because that's what women do, feel their emotions. They don't use logic. They feel that they should be getting much more money if they really had it their way, which I know a lot of them are delusional, but even the semi-delusional ones, they would want the same money that the guys command. And they know good and well they don't deserve that. They don't put butts in the seats. They're
Right.
not as impactful. Their athleticism is not to the level of men. They have to play shorter times. I don't know. I don't even watch WNBA, so I'm not sure if they go for 4 quarters or 2 halves. But
Right.
either way it goes, it's still reduced time as opposed to the men's. They cannot bring the draw, and truth be told, a lot of women don't even like watching women's basketball. The only ones who really do watch it are the ones who are hot for women. They're scouting out girls to hit on. I hate to be so brash about it, but the truth is the truth. It's not exciting to watch women play basketball. I'm not discrediting them. I give them kudos for having the discipline because a lot of them could probably kick my butt in basketball. The ones who are, they practice. It's a profession for them. But of course, basketball is something I'm a little natural at. I'm not skilled at it as far as a profession. I didn't stick with it, but I could still roll with some of the WNBA players right now, just because I have a few cobwebs I can dust off and get out there. None of these sports seem like they can. None of the other sports can qualify or justify getting paid like the men.
Right. And tennis is a individual sport. So there's only one person getting that, I guess, that salary of that money compared to, say, basketball, which you have to spread it out, between the whole team. And as a result, they can't pay them what they think they're worth. And we even looked at some of the disparities when it comes to how much one gets paid. What was it? Stephen King. What was Stephen King?
No, Stephen Curry.
Stephen Curry. 45 million a year. I think we saw the 45, 46 million a year.
Yeah.
And the highest paid is Taurasi, from I forget what team she's on, but they just got a raise. They were making, I think, 150, and they got $100,000 raise to like 250 or 230. 230 it was. So I think we calculated. What do we calculate that was in terms of what Stephen Curry is making?
He makes that much in like a week.
No, remember, I think you said it was 2 days.
Oh yeah, in 2 days. Yes,
2 days.
That's right. I thought it was a week. It's 2 days. That's insane.
2 days. He makes more in 2 days than the highest paid WNBA basketball player makes all year.
But rightfully so, man. He's a phenom out there. He's exciting to watch, and he's not the most athletic player. It's just he can shoot the lights out from the distance. He has major appeal for the women. I'm sure sex appeal. It's a man's sport. he's exciting to watch
Right.
amongst all the other male players. And women don't get it. They just don't get it. Stick to what you're good at. Stick to what feminine. I'd love to watch women's volleyball. It's enticing.
Which one? The indoor one or the outdoor?
More so the outdoor, but the indoor is still exciting. It's still feminine. It's more suitable for femininity, and that's what it really boils down to, in my opinion. There'll be a lot of critics and detractors that will go against me, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinion. But the proof is in the pudding, the facts, the statistical data, the charts. The WNBA has been running on a loss since its inception, and it will continue to do so. I don't care if they lower the rims. I don't care if they shrink the lines, the three-point line. The women still cannot show that athleticism. That's the excitement. That's what people will be willing to pay top dollar for.
Right. And it's all about the money. I mean, the men, the TV contracts that the men have are in the billions. And as a result of those TV contracts, advertisers, it's like a no-brainer for them to spend that type of money because the eyeballs are going to be there.
Thank you.
And
a lot, and you know what? And I know deep down inside there are a lot of people, women and so on, that know this truth, but they don't want to admit it. A lot of women are stubborn. They just want to always be right. They want to be equal to men. Modern women need to really stop and obey. Get in your place. Know your place. And I'm not saying being barefoot and pregnant. Just know your place. Understand your limitations.
Okay.
You're built and designed a certain way by God.
Right.
And if you're not religious, by just nature, let's just say. You're supposed to produce children. You don't have the same physicality. You never will. You just never will. And you got to wake up and understand that. Same applies for soccer. Not exciting to watch them play. Even if it's baseball, it's not exciting to watch them, or softball, how they do it. Has to
the
be
soccer.
softball.
The soccer thing was even worse. Remember I told you the stats for that?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, what, Cristiano Ronaldo makes somewhere in the midst of almost 30 million a year. And the women's soccer team, they don't even have salaries that are in ranges. The top salary in women's soccer, professional soccer, is $75,000. That's it.
And that's a reality base. That's based on reality when it just crunches the numbers. They cannot afford to pay these women because they're not generating that money so that they can pay them and still stay open as a franchise.
Right.
If they pay them what they want, they may last 1 year and then shut down. They may not even go the whole year and have to shut down. Women do not bring in that kind of draw for these type of sports because they just don't have the physicality and the athleticism to do so. Well, and I don't know when it's going to really be brought out. How many people have had a debate or discussions on this? But the franchises, the clubs need to come to reality. Even the courts need to come to a reality on this and stop pandering to women. I don't know what's causing this movement for feminism and what have you, but it's going to not only destroy the existence of a lot of these activities, is going to destroy the society we're in with unrealistic expectations, unrealistic standards, and it's going to destroy the women ultimately, because they're going to be very saddened when it may have to come to an end for a lot of their clubs or their activities. Because if you keep catering and pandering to them, you're running on a loss, and eventually somebody's going to file bankruptcy. One of these franchises or the whole league will be like, we can't afford it anymore. We paid out the women, we've given them what they want. They're just not generating the money, so we have to shut it down. And that's what's probably going to happen as long as they keep pandering and pacifying them.
Well, I think the WNBA is safe. I think the NBA will continue to subsidize them. So I don't think they have to worry. Um, it would be nice if they could turn a profit one day. That way they could see about getting more funds. For them, it's all about staying home because most of them, in order to make more money, they have to go overseas. Case in point, Brittany Griner, who is currently at this point, um, being held in Russia because she um, went over to Russia with a substance that she probably shouldn't have brought over there, and
Mm.
they have her in prison for I think they said another month or so. Um, but she had to go over there to try and make more money because she only makes a certain amount. I think she herself is in that $230,000 range as well, along with Tarasi, and it's not enough money, compared to I guess her counterpart in the NWNBA. So she felt as though she had to go over there to go to Russia of all places to go play for them because they do pay more. And as a result of paying more, there's a draw for a lot of the women to go over there and make that money.
Right. I'll tell you what, with all this information, what do you think, folks? Do they deserve equal pay?
Well, there's a lot of it that I think people are going to agree with us, and a whole lot are going to disagree. So please put it in the comments below or the side or wherever you see it. We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Do they deserve this pay? Is this something that they can do more of? Or, I mean, there's a lot that I think has been happening to further their case, and this soccer lawsuit is one. But for the most part, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be something that they're going to fare too well going forward. This may be the starting point, but at the same time, where do you go from there? Because if you're going to go from U.S. soccer to women's professional soccer, you're going to take a pay cut
Yep.
because women's professional soccer is only paying maximum 75,000. Now that's nothing to sneeze at. I take 75,000, right, to play a game,
Yeah.
but you know, compared to the men in soccer, it's nothing. Not even a drop in the bucket.
But
So,
they want to play it, so let the girls play. They want to be boys.
well, again, we want your comments. You know, tell us what you think. You may disagree with us and or agree, but we'll see going forward, and hopefully there'll be more of a dialogue, and we may do this again because there's going to be a whole lot more of this. You know, do they deserve? Do they not deserve? Talk regarding women in sports. So we'll be back here.
All right.
Mhm. Well, that's all we got for right now. We're going to be back with another video, and so the more that we get to do this, we appreciate you. We appreciate support. Please like
Yeah.
and subscribe. Right, and we're going to have some guests coming up in the near future. The
Yeah.
majority of those conversations, I think, are going to be well driven by our guests, but we can't wait to talk to them. And we'll let you know. So put the click on the bell. That's, I guess, right to the right below, and
Hmm.
so you'll be notified when we have these interviews that are coming up. All right.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Tel?
No, man. It's going to get more and more heated. It's going to get more entertaining for some. More passion is going to come out. It's going to get more controversial. So stay tuned.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, my name is JB. That's Tel. We are your Gen X gentlemen. This is our podcast, and we will talk to you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.